What is up, guys? We are back again for another show and another set of issues with Anthem. We'll go over that later. But what up, guys?
Oh, yo, what's up? This is So Acoustic. How's everybody doing?
Yo, this is Broke Gamer, and I'm doing great.
Good.
But you sound kind of deliciousness or whatever. You coming from the
yeah, coming from Soul Palace. I got a little setup here now for my music stuff. I've got the Scarlett Focusrite or Focusrite Scarlett. I think that's the right way.
Audio interface.
Yeah, audio interface. Wow. And I've got the mic that I used to use over there at Dark Flow Studios, and just a little setup for my music ventures that I'm on now.
Cool.
It sounds great, man.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Well, anything anybody been getting into this week other than life?
Life, man, but a lot of living life. I took 2 days off in the middle of the week and did some traveling. Went up to San Francisco and got to see the sights out there with my family who was visiting from the East Coast.
Oh, nice. Cool. How did they like California?
They loved it. I think that their favorite stopover was In-N-Out. I think they went like 3 times while they were here.
That's fun.
But
wow.
we took them to San Francisco. They did all the tourist stuff. We hung out at Japantown for a while. Got some traditional ramen. Had a great time there, and then they did the boat tour of the Alcatraz. I think Angel Island, and possibly like the bridge. Kind of takes you through all that area.
Yeah.
But I didn't really want to get on a boat, so instead I went to go watch Captain Marvel at the Metreon 16.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was pretty great. Like I was not ready for that level of intensity in terms of like sound.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Visually, I'm
trying
used
to tell you.
to great visuals, but the sound was out of control.
Yeah.
Because, like the first thing that I said is I'm like, oh, it's kind of quiet in here. So I look around and I see all these speakers everywhere on the walls and stuff, and, nice large widescreen. And so I sit down and I'm like, it's kind of weird that they don't really have any like pre-show or anything. Like I'm so conditioned to seeing like the little mini TV show that they show you before you see a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, I'm sitting there quietly minding my own business. And then at some point, I think I look over to my girlfriend and I start talking to her, and then it just comes on with full aggression like that. That is such a loud introduction.
Yes, it is.
It spooked both of us. I damn near jumped out of my seat, but it was great. Like I had such a good time watching it. It definitely raised the bar for like movie watching experiences, and now I'm just like, I can't wait till we get one here. Like we need one here. We need something of that level.
Yeah,
it just isn't going to be the same,
dude. For sure. And so you went and did the same thing, correct?
Yep, I sure did.
So what did you think?
Yeah, I went. It was amazing. Blew me away. Blew us away. We were just me and my wife. We were just watching the movie. We enjoyed like the seats, and I mean down to everything. It's just like the total. The best way to watch a movie, basically.
It really does feel like it. The price isn't exactly the most affordable, but
no.
You get a lot for what you pay for, which is also a lot.
Oh, for sure. Me and my wife went, and there's actually a Target attached to it. And we went shopping and brought everything into the movie theater, which we, in Sacramento, you can't do that. They don't play, homie don't play that. It's like we were just chilling, and we thought they were going to say something. Nope, it was all good. And
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is this: I went and saw Captain Marvel here in Sacramento at Century 14, and nice theater. It's the I didn't see it in 3D. I saw it in the second highest because 3D, a little bit wider screen and all that stuff, whatever. Kind of like on IMAX level, not the IMAX, or whatever. But anyways, the sound was way lackluster. It was like It was muted after going to the movies and watching that there. What did I see? Battle Angel.
Battle Angel Alita.
Yeah, Alita, and it was amazing. And then after going to see Captain Marvel, I'm like, you can hear everything in the theater. I mean, it was like totally a trip. It was just, man, it was not the same. And
we got to bring back Baloo and tell him that we went.
Yeah, because Baloo
made the trip.
Baloo was a diehard. He would make a trip all the way to Frisco to watch whatever major movie. So yeah.
Whoa, that's crazy. But I could see myself doing that. The way that we did it is we parked at the building that's in Japantown. They have a little parking center there.
Oh, okay.
And then we just Ubered to the Metreon because it's just a mess finding parking down there. And I don't really like being in the area for too long.
Yep, that's what I was debating because my wife was like, "Let's go back to the Matreon," and she's not even a movie buff, let alone a sound buff. Because I have, in my home or whatever, I have a full home theater, Atmos system and all that, and I love playing it loud and rocking it or whatever. And she's not really into that, but after she, went there and to see the sound and everything, she was amazed. She was like, "Let's go back and see, Captain Marvel, down there." I was like, "I don't want to deal with the parking and all that." So
yeah, it's a lot to go through for a movie. Definitely not something that you can just do every day, especially because like we're not super close. It's not an easy drive. It's almost 2 hours if you hit traffic.
Yeah, exactly. And parking could be anywhere between $20 and $30. It's like paying for another movie ticket. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah. So that's what I did, and so you guys had the same experience. So, what you guys think about Captain Marvel?
I thought the movie was pretty good. I didn't have any issues with it. I thought it was a good story. I really liked the way it developed and how it ties into, the whole Marvel background and everything, whole story and stuff. So I thought it was good.
Yeah, same here.
I thought it was good as well too. Like it wasn't like a great movie. Like I'm still all weirdly jaded from Infinity War because like everybody died basically. And so when I received that movie, I was kind of like in a mode to experience more of that. So I've gone through like internal turbulence about this movie. First, I was like, cool movie. Then I was like, but I feel like they kind of stooped down to present a lot of concepts to me because we all know that a big theme of this movie is about like positive feminine roles. Yeah. And like I was like, good, great, that's what we need. But I because I kind of like to experience things on a more subtle scale. I was expecting it to be like a continuous, just kind of these are small hints that they're dropping on you that you're like be strong, be proud of who you are. But it felt like they did too. It was like they were bludgeoning you with it. Like it was almost aggressively there. But I got to remember that this movie just isn't for adults. It's also for kids, and sometimes kids need like that level of exposure to stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just.
I didn't think it was that much overly.
Maybe it's just because I expected I felt like Infinity War was more nuanced with its subjects rather than it was than Captain Marvel was. If we're gonna kind of get into a comparison, like apple to apple or apples to apples thing.
Yeah,
I just think that they're two different movies, though. Honestly,
they are, but they live on the same continuum. So I just kind of expected the some kind of through line. But I mean, I can't really say that that's been true with all the movies because I mean, look at the first two Thors and the third one.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I mean, to me, they're all in the same universe, but they're all different in their own right at the same time.
Yeah, you can see there was a lot of girl power. And they were pushing that.
And that's great because that's stuff like that needs to be the message. We don't really have a whole lot of positive roles like that where it isn't about how sexy she is. It's about her internal struggle with the truth and being powerful and overcoming challenges. Like those are all things that were great, but like I felt like they were just beating me over the head with it, and I was like, I get it, I get the flashbacks, thank you.
Yeah, you wanted more action?
Not even action. I just like when they touched the subject, I just wanted it to just move on and go to the next part of the actual comic story. And then I felt like it was too neat. You know how like at the end everything was just kind of like in a box with a bow. Everything you went over there and you went over there and this guy's friends with that guy. Everything just kind of like boop, nice. And I felt like that. I didn't like that either.
Well, to be honest, I mean, it was instead of it being its own standalone movie, it was an origin story that leads into Endgame. That's what it was about. And you can see that whole thing play out. Yeah. It was interesting and whatever. What kind of took a little a little weirdness to get used to was the Spider-Man trailer before the movie. I'm like,
oh yeah,
like man, you guys could have put that on something else. I know it's out there and I've been trying to avoid it or whatever, but as far as I'm concerned, he's dead. So can we,
Right. Well, some people are saying that this might have happened before Endgame for the movie. Like it could be. Well, no, that wouldn't really make sense either.
Yeah, it would not make sense because he couldn't have a certain type of suit. There's all kind of situations and circumstances. But
yeah, because he has that like glider suit. But yeah, I feel like that definitely destroys the effect. Like somebody in marketing definitely didn't get that one right.
Yeah, you might not want to just roll that in the trailers. So that of Captain Marvel, you want to wait.
Yeah, or I mean it's just next not month. Even show it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that trailer has been out for like a month and a half now. Yeah. That Spider-Man one. Yeah, so it's there. They have no illusions about it. It's because Endgame is going to come before Spider-Man. So I'm basically like everybody already knows that that's the, like, especially comic book nerds, like they already know that everybody gets a chance to go again, but we're like, oh no, how are they going to do it? Oh, what if they don't come back? You know, like we still want to believe that that's the situation, but they got to move forward with their weird Marvel juggernaut.
Yeah. And they're saying that some people aren't coming back. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard that there are people who are leaving their roles after Endgame, which, I mean, think about how long they've been doing it.
Well, not even that. I'm talking about some characters will be killed off.
Like forever gone.
Yeah, exactly. So we shall see. All right. Well, let's go ahead and hit you guys with a bumper. Then we'll play social media, and then we'll get back into it.
Yo, it's Broke Gamer. Make sure to check us out on social media. It's Ether Gamer Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Give us a like, follow, and don't forget to say hi. We'll always try to get back to you. Peace.
So who wants to go first? I know what we're probably going to lead with, but
more of the same.
Well, I have something new. So I have finally been getting into Metro.
Oh, cool.
I've been playing quite a few hours of it. It's the game itself is kind of whack, but it's gorgeous.
He said whack.
The game is gorgeous. So I just keep playing it because it looks so good. There's just like little gameplay mechanic things I don't like. I'm playing it on hard, which isn't even like the hardest difficulty. And it's like all the AI just have just epic aim, and you just get hit once and you die. And like when I try to shoot them, it takes a few shots. It's just like kind of just game balance stuff I'm not really a fan of. And some of the game mechanics, as far as the way the character moves, they have a lot of really cool stuff in it. You could basically think of it as like a new age kind of Fallout, like a lower scale Fallout, basically. Because they just put you in different sandboxes, different environments, and do it like that. So you can kind of think of it like that. But it's a good game. It's just and it's fun to play. It has its fun moments as far as like getting into trying to you could either like stealth through stuff or go and just straight head on attack. Your basic stuff. But it's a gorgeous game, like one of the best looking games I've ever seen. So
when I put it in, you guys know I had issues. Didn't get too far along in it before it started freezing up, and then I kind of put it on the shelf, back burner. But I went to Souls and he showed it to me. I was like, damn, I don't remember it looking like that. I mean, it looks stunning. It definitely looks better than God of War or any title for the most part.
Whoa,
I've seen.
Okay, I have to see this now.
Yeah, it's crazy. In 4K, it's unreal, especially on the LG.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say it's a contender for like graphics with God of War, if not better. Probably better just with the HDR and everything that they've done. I mean, down to the gun, down to like the smallest nuances, like the way the light reflects off of his watch and just different things like that. Like it's an absolutely gorgeous video game for sure.
Well, if it's running the ray tracing program, then that means that you're going to be seeing a lot more realistic lighting. So something like that with the watch light, I wouldn't have even expected that. Like that's usually it's just kind of like a little piece of flat metal. Maybe it's a little shiny, but like for them to go that far is pretty cool. I imagine like when you're walking through certain different terrains, the same thing happens too, where it's just little bits of stuff kind of are more highlighted or more well rendered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean it's the lighting in the game is probably the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, especially for HDR, it definitely everything is popping, and the reflections on different things and how it glistens and the metals. Yep. I mean, it's unreal.
the textures are pretty amazing too. Like as far as you didn't really get to see this priest, but like looking at the characters, like their shirts and stuff, like you could see it's like wool or cotton or something.
I really do like that about these new games that are coming out, because PCs have been doing that for a while now. But now that they're implementing that into like console games, everybody else gets to kind of enjoy that next level of depth, visual enjoyment, or visual fidelity, which is it's cool because like you'll be talking to somebody and then you just kind of look at his shirt and you just see that it's got like the weave, you see like the woven cloth pattern. You're like, oh, isn't that cool? Or sometimes if you get close enough to a character and the light's reflecting off of their skin, you can see their pores and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
The one that I think I still struggle with is hair. Hair is one that sometimes they'll just be like, all right, let's just we can't really put a whole lot of shine or energy into this one because it'll overload the system. So let's just kind of make it like brush strokes of hair. It isn't really just like singular follicles.
I'm getting that from the Division, but for sure.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I was just playing Anthem, a little bit of Anthem. I played with you guys. I haven't played since the new patch for the legendary items, but
loot patch.
Yeah,
and it's server side. It's not patches that you have to download. It's on the server.
Yeah, they just because they have the switch on the server, man. All they got to do is just move that dial over a few clicks, and they're like, "Oh, look at that loot! Everybody come and play."
They need to move that dial over a little bit more.
And bro,
just like 1 or 2 more clicks.
Broke, it's not happening like that for everybody, as you should know.
Well, I've gotten lucky a few times. We'll say that, but I mean, these last 2 days that I played Anthem have been kind of lackluster. I kind of took a break from my Storm today because I noticed that I was basically getting the same components over and over again, and so I switched over to my Interceptor, which I've been having a lot of fun with. And I've been getting Masterworks here and there, a little bit more frequently than not. But I think that's because I'm trying to go for a luck build, which is the way that luck's supposed to work from what I've read, is that it doesn't give you a higher chance at rarities. It gives you a higher chance at random items being upgraded by 1 rarity quality. So if you were going to get a blue, you might end up getting a purple instead. But if you're going to get a Masterwork, you might get a legendary. Or if you're going to get a purple, you end up getting a Masterwork. And by purple, I mean epic, and by blue, I mean rare. Yeah,
I'm also hearing that the sweet spot with luck is between 80 and 90, which is weird.
Yeah. But that's because there are people who will stack up 223% luck, and it doesn't do anything more. Like once you hit about that 90, that's the maximum limit. So you don't have to focus on it so much. Because I'm at about 66% luck right now, and a few times I feel like I shouldn't have gotten a Masterwork, and I definitely got one.
He said, I thought it was going to give me a blue drop.
It felt like a blue drop fight. Like seriously, like you just look over and shoot a guy who has like a bit of health left, and a Masterwork comes out, and you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Well, I want legendaries, and I've seen definitely a bunch of different streams that people were dropping legendary like popcorn. I was like, how can I do that?
Like Grandmaster 3, because I need some of that, man.
No, he was on Grandmaster 2.
Okay, yeah, because I'm still struggling on.
And it was free play.
2. Okay, yeah, free play definitely gives you a better chance. It's just if you're not running with a squad, it's garbage because it's like, yeah, I'm going to run on Grandmaster 2, and then everybody's going to fly in their own directions, and then I'm basically soloing Grandmaster 2.
Well, all you got to do is follow him, homie. Be a stalker.
I don't want to do that. I got chests to go look for.
Well, do that or hit us up. Tell us to get on.
That's true. That's when it's worked out best, is whenever we're running as a squad, we seem to get the most done.
Yeah. We'll have to give that a shot.
I got to do some stronghold runs, guys. I got to take care of those Valor challenges. I think I've got another like 80 events to do, and then probably another 20 stronghold runs.
Yeah, no, same here. You're trying to get that vinyl, the skull vinyl.
The skull vinyl. I think that would be a nice addition to my collection there.
Yeah, no, it looks freaking amazing. I was like, man, and what kind of sucks, whatever, is the quick play. I was like, I'm going to have issues with quick play. So that's probably going to be, that's going to be the hardest part.
Until they fix it, yeah.
Yeah. And also I put a YouTuber out there for you guys to check out. And his name is Timbo. He's on YouTube, and he has a thing about Anthem saying, I'm done with Anthem. And I really want you guys to check it out because it's really good. It's probably it's the best breakdown of Anthem of why it could possibly fail. and a lot why they may not be able to fix this game, and also why they might be able to fix this game. But I definitely hope the developers are watching that video. I did tweet it out there and attach their names to it because it's something they definitely should watch, because he's not at all bashing Anthem. Period. He's just telling, from the factual standpoint of what it's missing, what it doesn't have that other games do have. Just, it's like the things that should have been in the game, as far as just from the simple interface design, as far as you actually seeing your loadout or seeing what you actually have, and just basic things or whatever that you think would be in a title. And, as we're playing the game, I'm definitely not thinking about those things, because I did take it as, this is Anthem. This is what they wanted to do. Do I like it or don't I like it? And which I do like it, but you are missing those things as you play and progress. You're like, why can't I just look at my firearm to see what I have? Why can't I look at my armor and see what the levels are? And what level am I again? I mean, there's a lot of things, just basic things that are not in the game. And it's a really good video to watch. So his name is Timbo, and its caption is, "I'm done with Anthem." Make sure you guys check that out. But anything else, bro?
Yeah, I feel like I'm beginning to settle into a groove. Like the basic cycle now is show up, do your legendary so that you get your guaranteed masterwork. And then after that, I kind of just putz around for a bit with my free time on Free Player. I do a stronghold run. So that might open me up to be able to start playing some other games. But a lot of the grind mostly has been Anthem, just because I want to get to that kind of top tier to see what's up there. But yeah. I feel like BioWare's not making it easy for us.
Well, also, yeah, there's so many stories for so many different days. But then that gets into another subject with Anthem. And it's basically, does power scaling, does power matter? And I was talking to Soul earlier about this. Power matters in Anthem to a degree, but then at a major degree, it doesn't. You're not busting your ultimates or your grenades all the time. They have cooldown cycles. But what you are utilizing are your firearms. And firearms do not scale as of right now. And what do I mean by that? If I'm level 0 or 1 and I have a firearm and I shoot something and it's doing 7,666 damage, and I'm at that level, then I put all my armor on, my components and all that good stuff. And then I shoot that same target, it's going to still give me 7,666. They're saying they didn't mean for it to do that. If they did, and they utilize other things and other assets or whatever for you to get more power and more abilities, I would be cool with that. And let me tell you what I mean by that. If you pull out a firearm or a shotgun, go to the range and you shoot it, it's going to do whatever damage to that fire range. I don't care how much armor you're wearing, how much gear or flak jackets or bulletproof vest you have on. Obviously, the gun itself does not change because that's a particular weapon, period. So it doesn't change. But in these fantasy games like Destiny, even on the Division, as you scale up, the firearm actually does more damage as you progress, whatever, and your levels get higher. So we're still trying to figure out if it was designed that way. Because your ultimates, if you were to take everything off, your ultimates would do less damage. You put everything back on, your ultimate does more damage. So what the community is trying to figure out, because BioWare has not answered this, they said they're working on it. They're going to fix this and fix that. But was that a design, thing that they wanted to do in the design of the game, meaning, theoretically. And again, I'm not talking about a firearm that that has abilities. And what I mean by abilities, fire, lightning, or if it explodes or whatever, or set something on fire.
Yeah, those like legendary second abilities that you get where it does something additional.
Those will still do damage within themselves, not, the bullet damage plus, whatever those particular things are, freezing a person and so on and so forth. So what I think is that that was a design issue that they wanted to do. And for whatever reason, the community is not liking it. So they're going to change it, and they're going to add more damage as your character scales and your ability scales and your component scale and all that stuff. So what do you guys think about that?
I think that is good. It's going to make the game feel like you're progressing a little bit quicker, because I feel like a lot of people are hitting that dull spot where they're not really getting anything out of the game. It's we're a month into the game now.
Yeah.
And people are already basically capped out as far as they can get without spending ridiculous amounts of hours collecting legendaries.
Exactly. I'm one of those people.
Yeah, that's what it is I got lucky, so I have 3 legendaries, so I'm basically more or less stuck at 690. I'm not progressing past that until I get another legendary that happens to be either a second weapon or not one of my 2 gear abilities, my right bumper or left bumper abilities. So it's just, that just shows how slow the grind can become if they don't have a system in place for people who pass a certain point to be able to get those things a little bit easier, or at least at the same rate that they were getting other stuff. Because I get it, they want the game to have some sort of longevity, and they don't want people to get like oversatiated with drops, because then they'll be at the same problem, except instead of giving us more gear, they'll be in a situation where they have to make up new weapons or new tiers or categories or abilities.
Yeah.
But taking it back to what you asked about the whole, is power scaling something that we should go for, or that would help?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was intended, because what you're supposed to be doing is paying attention to the inscriptions.
Yeah.
But the inscription system is so whack that it doesn't really even help. It's just
the inscription system is like an old pager, to bring Captain Marvel into this. Meaning you don't know who you're paging, why somebody's paging you, who it is, and then until you call that number back, and you're like, dang, why did I call this number back? I don't even know this person. And so they were random. It was like the worst terrible random generator in any video game is the inscriptions, because it'll put things on there that has nothing to do with you.
That don't even matter. They're not relevant.
Yeah, you have whatever gun, and then it attaches to another gun, and it's just crazy. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
So just check this out. If you get a legendary gun, great, you have a legendary gun.
Yeah.
But now you have to get a legendary gun that applies to whatever abilities you have or need. So not only do you have to surpass the ridiculous barrier of having,
getting
a
one.
high score ability or getting one, you also have to get one that fits the playstyle that you're playing. So that makes it even more difficult, because it's all randomly generated. It puts you inside of a space of uncertainty where you're basically just like digging around in the sand, hoping that you can find a piece of gold somewhere. And if it's not gold, then you have to keep looking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like I was a higher level than you by probably 2 times at the time. And I've been stopped ever since, because I can't.
And then I bumped up by an additional, 30, 40 points just because I found another legendary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
and that was just wandering around. What is it? It was Grandmaster 1 doing just chests, like free play missions. You an event. You kill some dudes. You stand around. You load a bar, and then after that, a chest appears, and I just happened to get a legendary.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So so as far as what I've been playing, obviously Anthem, but I've played Anthem with Broke. We were going on the new loot chase again.
Yep.
This supposedly was adding more loot for Grandmaster. Well, actually for all, but more so for Grandmaster.
But we started on Grandmaster 2
and Grandmaster 3.
We didn't even go to 1. We wanted to go as difficult as we could go to get the best possible loot.
Yeah, exactly. And guess what? We didn't get no loot. We got some basic. We got basic things. I feel that I still got more playing it regularly before that than I even did when I played. And so that was weird. Then we played for a while. Broke had to go. I played a little bit longer. Broke's like, oh, go into free play. I went into free play. Went into free play, played that. Didn't really get any loot drops. Not only did I not get any loot drops, the game froze up and then kicked me back out or did something weird. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to crack open Destiny. I mean, not Destiny, excuse me.
Whoa.
The Division.
Whoa.
I have not played the new content. For the record, I've not played the new content for Destiny. I have not opened Destiny ever since Anthem. So I've definitely think moved on from that, but we'll see. But we'll see how it goes. But anyways, cracked open the Division. I was actually surprised on how good it looked compared to the beta. It definitely was noticeably different. It's definitely playing in full 4K. It has a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on in the Division, a lot that you can do, a lot that you have to do. It's still a work in progress for me, as far as I'm just figuring out whether or not I really, going to be sinking a lot of time into it. I do like the guns. I do like the mechanics. I'm not. I'm not one of those people who chase like clothing and stuff like that because
Right.
I'd rather get gun drops and all that. There are a lot of guns you can find for sure, but just because you have a lot of loot, it's so funny. It goes into the whole Anthem thing. You have a lot of loot, it doesn't mean anything because it's all trash, you know. So
Garbage loot.
yeah, just getting garbage loot is not my thing, you know. Period. And that's why I am playing Anthem. That's why I continue to look for legendaries and all that stuff, whatever, even if they didn't change the drop rate or anything, because when you get one, it's like, oh my God, I gotta, be in Destiny and exotic and, it's such and such or whatever. But if you get it and the descriptions are terrible and it makes no sense, that's a whole nother issue. That can be highly frustrating and kill a game really fast.
Well,
But-
I mean, my legendary gun that I got is a marksman rifle that all it does is it makes the bullets steadier. It doesn't do anything cool. It doesn't
Oh,
shoot
that's cool.
lightning,
Wow.
heal you, pop shields. Nope, but just if you shoot it 3 times, it makes it so that it has no recoil.
that's not good.
That's terrible.
That's not good. You wait all that time and you finally get one, because I don't have a legendary. I have legendary components, but I don't have a legendary rifle, any weapon.
Yeah, so everybody's walking around with like it's a masterwork and a half. It ain't even a real legendary gun.
Yeah.
It's
So,
crazy.
but there are a lot of drops in the Division. The game is fun. There's a lot of things that you can do. I do like taking on those. I am the Will Smith of these open world games, to where I envision that whole character and I'm on my own and have to, what would you do type deal. And so it does give you that for sure. But again, these are 2 totally different games. The whole fantasy verticality of Anthem and the standard, walk, straight, kill this person, keep it moving, open up this backpack and, all that stuff, whatever, of the Division. It has a place for itself. So I can definitely see myself going back and forth, just like in Division 1, playing both of these titles and completing everything. But I still, the rush I get out of Anthem just doesn't do it for me in the Division 2.
Well, just that being able to fly and then just the straight madness of having to manage all of those different things that are happening on different levels, where you have to, it's like, oh, got to go up there, got to go float around for a bit. All right, got to hide behind this shield. And it's all placed in a situation where like, oh, I'm gonna overheat, got to get on the ground before I actually overheat and have to wait longer for my jets to cool down.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're operating that freaking, javelin. You know what I'm saying? You still have to worry
Yeah,
about
you
all
definitely
those
are,
different things, that go, with it and stuff like that. And that whole, watching Captain Marvel, then you got that whole the fantasy. That's why we play video games. It's like you're, beaming yourself into this character and you're, doing all this stuff, whatever. You don't get that with the Division. You get like apocalyptic, situations and like, what would you do and how careful would you be and all that stuff, which again, that's, watching a Marvel movie opposed to watching, The Walking Dead. So, people enjoy both of those. So yeah, there's more to come, on the Division, but so far so good. Definitely like how it looks. Definitely like how it's running in 4K. Digital Foundry did a real good breakdown on it, and it's up there almost with the PC. Not as far as frame rates, because the PC is running at 60 frames per second. This is running in 30, but the textures are there once they all settle and pop in and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was showing Soul the game. He's like, man, look at all this pop in and the fences were popping in and all this stuff, whatever.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I had stopped playing or whatever and haven't reloaded it again. And again, I also loaded this onto my external hard drive opposed to my internal hard drive. So, but once I went back on the stuff that I showed him, everything was already there. So once I went back to the game, nothing else needed to load again. And I do like the not seeing a loading screen, as far as walking in the environment, going in and out of buildings, all that stuff, whatever. But,
yeah, the loading screens do kind of get in the way. And I went through and actually did that recently, where I took all of the games that have, lengthy loading screens and put them on the physical Xbox, and took all of the games that don't, that I don't need a disc for, and just put it on my hard drive. Because there are times where I'll go over to somebody's house and they want to play some of the games that I have, like Jackbox or something.
Yeah.
And I like having my hard drive because I can just plug that into their Xbox, log into my account, and then just start playing games like that.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a good
I
idea.
did that over here once, actually.
Yeah, that, and then VRV, I can actually stream anime and other shows whenever I go to somebody's house. If they want to watch something, or we just want to marathon a bunch of stuff that's on there, I don't have to re-download and log in. I just the app is already on the hard drive. I plug it into the Xbox and we start watching, anime or whatever.
I still got to download that VRV.
So
Still haven't
good.
downloaded. I can just it's just on the Microsoft Store. Tell the people.
Yeah, it's all right, homies. First of all, it's owned by Crunchyroll. So if you have Crunchyroll, stop being a fool and paying $10 for only anime when you can pay $10 for anime, more anime, actual TV shows, a bunch of different channels like Rooster Teeth, or you could have access to Shudder, which is like all of the Scary B movies. I think there's a bunch of Korean dramas on there as well too. I don't really go to that part. But there's just a bunch of stuff to watch. Like it's way more than anything you would get with a normal $10 streaming service. And it's just, you just pick it up on the actual app store that's there for the Microsoft, Microsoft store. And it's as easy as putting in your credit card, getting your information right, and then starting to watch whatever you want. They have basically everything there, and they're always on top of the new seasons. Like,
how much does it cost?
$10 for $9.99, but it's that's it, and you get a bunch of channels. Yeah, if you hold on a second, I can pull it up on my phone and I can tell you exactly what you're gonna get.
Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, as Broke is doing that, let me tell you guys, I'm about to get into it. I've been holding off, letting the series and letting the episodes build up and build up and build up, because what's coming April 1st, CBS All Access, is The Twilight Zone. I can't wait for that. So when that, as it gets closer, I'm popping that top. I'm gonna pay my $5.99 for a couple of commercials. I'm not paying the $9.99. I don't need to go commercial free. I need a break every now and then too. But I will be back on Star Trek.
Yeah,
you guys.
I can't wait for that too.
You guys need to get on it because it's amazing.
I got the list, guys. So. With your VRV premium subscription, you get Boomerang, which is the Cartoon Network classic cartoon streaming service that used to be a channel. So if you like watching like Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck's kind of level stuff, or like Yogi Bear or the Flintstones, you're going to get it there. Cartoon Hangover is an indie cartoon studio where, shows like the likes of Steven Universe or Adventure Time were first created.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, obviously subtitled anime, Curiosity Stream, which are like documentaries. So I remember that one of the guys from the Mythbusters crew had a show that he did on there where all he did was learn how to make a suit of armor. And he just went to a professional and just did that. That was the whole show, and it was pretty cool. Geek and Sundry, if anybody's a fan of Felicia Day or Day 9 or any of those guys, you can get that there. High Dive, which is an up-and-coming, at least to me, anime studio that they did this really crazy anime about 2 years ago. It's called Made in Abyss, and it's just it's ridiculous. It's crazy. It involves these two children traveling down to the bottom of this abyss to go and get one of their parents, and it goes like from 0 to 100 in like the course of 2 episodes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Let's see. Mondo is another online cartoon, kind of like YouTube cartoon or Flash cartoons when those were a thing. That's another studio. Nerdist. You guys know, God, what was his name? The guy who was like nerd royalty. He got in a bit of trouble recently, or not that long ago, like 6 months ago.
I don't know.
But he was a big part of that. So Nerdist is pretty big. Nick Splat. So remember all the cartoons from like the late 90s. Mm-hmm. So like Rugrats, Angry Beavers. Let's see what else. Hey Arnold. All of those are on there. Rooster Teeth. If you guys are a fan of any of the machinima that they do or any of the Let's Play videos, you get all those right there. And Shudder, which is the Scary B movies. So if you like watching like the Rob Zombie remakes, or like Asian classic like scary horror movies like Ringu, or I think Gojira is on there. Yeah, you get stuff like that.
Nice, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, so for definitely
that price,
recommended.
Man, that's definitely off the chain.
Yeah, $10 you get all that.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Also, I want to send a big shout out and congratulations, and I'm glad. I don't know about y'all, but Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah,
James Gunn is back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely happy about that. That means it's going to be what it's supposed to be. So
yeah, so he's doing what is it, the Hit Squad or the
Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad, or whatever.
The second
movie.
Suicide Squad, yeah.
And then,
Will Smith jumped out of that one as well, too, right?
Yeah, looks like
he's out
Idris
of that.
Elba, yeah, looks like Idris is going to take over as Deadshot.
Whoa,
odd. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna pull that one off.
And I'm pissed at Idris. I'm not happy with him because
James Bond stuff?
because of the Black Tower freaking things that tanked like a 747, which wasn't on due to him, but he was like, oh no, an interview or whatever, I don't want to do 007 because I feel I'm too old and I can't do all that stuff and fight scenes and all that or whatever, and and obviously it tanked. And again, he was just saying that to, because of the movie and because he, signed the three movie deal and all that stuff to do the Dark Tower series. He had every, inkling that it would take off or whatever from what was, from how people loved it and this, that, and the other. But again, this character, the cowboy or whatever his name is in the Dark Tower series is not black. And, that was issues.
The gunslinger.
The gunslinger. Thank you. And along with all the other changes that they made or whatever, people just didn't like it at all. And so he could have played 007, but they re-upped the same guy and paid him an astronomical amount of money because he was turning it down like left and right. He wouldn't do it.
That's crazy.
And now Idris is doing all these freaking action movies. I'm like, God, that sucks.
Yeah, like
He's
he's doing that Hobbs and Shaw movie, right? Or he already did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, okay. First things first is I was surprised that they said that they were going to make those books into a movie because I read all of the books and if you read all the way to the end, you're like, oh no, this is not going to translate well into a movie. So they're giving it the full Hollywood treatment. So
Stephen King's movies very rarely translate well. So it did, but
especially like Stephen King. Yeah. So I haven't seen it yet, and I didn't watch it because the thing is that I wasn't my favorite series of books, but it was definitely like on the list of like trippier, more interesting Stephen King books.
Yeah.
So I was when I heard that they kind of glossed over some stuff and they kind of let Hollywood get away with too much stuff and didn't really focus on the material in the book, then it just kind of it took away the desire to watch it. So if at some point it shows up on Netflix or somebody's like, hey.
Seen it?
Nope, still haven't seen it.
I actually liked it. I haven't seen it either. I liked it, but again, I think I read the first book or maybe halfway through the first book. I don't know. I stopped the whole Dark Tower series. But
it gets like weird and Stephen King-y, like extra Stephen King-y. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, and also I know when he started pushing it, when it was getting all kind of flack or whatever, and Stephen King came out, I'm like, oh shit, it's not gonna go well. Because
got to bring the old man out to talk about his movie.
yeah, and everybody knows when he does that, it's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just wish he would have did 007. Just one, he could have been the first black 007, and two, it would have been freaking awesome. And also they need to give him in the current movie, what is it? Something in Hobbs or whatever.
Shaw and Hobbs or Hobbs and Shaw.
Shaw and Hobbs, whatever. He's like, he does all this heroic stuff or whatever, which seems heroic or whatever. He's like, I'm not the hero.
And I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh man.
That's funny.
Now I got to see Idris get killed in the movie again. Anyways.
I know, right? Heimdall. He did one last good thing before he got taken out.
Yeah, exactly. Because Denzel's getting old. So, you have to, there's not a lot of people out there.
There's going to be other good dudes for that. Like I heard good things about Denzel's kid. He was in that one movie that was up for an Oscar.
Yeah, no, he's a really good actor. But a lot of action stuff fits like certain characters. And I don't mean, the Division type action stuff. I mean, superhero type, Marvel type action stuff.
Like your stereotypical action movie. Like
yeah. I don't see him in those type of roles. I see him in like more dramatic, like his stuff that his dad was doing, basically, and stuff that he's been doing.
Because Denzel, he spent a period of his time working on, action-oriented movies.
Yeah.
But then he took like a break to kind of get more serious and dig more into those drama roles. And it seems like that's kind of where he's going to sit. I still haven't seen The Equalizer, but I've only heard good things about it.
Are you, bro?
Oh man,
and why are you on this show again? Wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. You haven't even seen the first Equalizer?
No, dude. The thing is that John Wick and The Equalizer came out at about the same time, and so once I watched John Wick, I was like, all right, my tank's full. Let's go see something else. Like I didn't need more action.
Dude, but the first Equalizer's been out for like 2 years or something like that.
So has the first John Wick. Like that's the thing, man. I watched one movie and then all of the other ones that seemed like it, I just kind of put off to the side and went, well, at some point I'll watch it.
Oh man. You lucky I don't have shame on my Rolodex right now.
Ooh,
You
yeah. That's
you're
why I come with my own soundbite.
You're so lucky.
That's funny.
I'm gonna give you one on the next show just because. But
Yeah.
you need to see Equalizer, homie.
Oh yeah, I want to. Like I've talked to people about that. Where one of my friends who I go out with to go and eat here in Sacramento, he says that he hasn't seen it either and that he wants to watch it, but it's just one of those like, gotta get together, gotta make time.
I'm gonna hit you with this, and you better tread very carefully with how you answer this question, because you guys might have heard the last Bro Gamer on Ether Gamer Radio. Man on Fire.
Good movie.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that was that
was a close call right there. I didn't know how it was gonna go.
You know, action finest, but the thing is that it was a serious action role. It
wasn't like for sure. That's
like
an amazing
Fast
movie.
and Furious action. It was like very very serious movie.
Yeah. I was like, oh, sweating bullets. Like, man,
You just
I need Brock on the show. Okay. Anyways, all right. Well, let's go ahead and take a little break, and we'll be back with Roundtable.
You are listening to Ether Gamer Radio.
All right, you know what? I'm not going to play my roundtable bumper, only because that is so powerful from playing some melodic, slow, going into that. And I really got to change that bumper up or whatever. So hopefully for next show, I'll have a new roundtable bumper. But for those of you like, oh, no, he just had to have it ready.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, it's there. All right. So anyways. So what's been going on in the world of gaming, man? There's been so much. Broke Gamer. Just for your edification, xCloud. I heard that was shown on an Android device on Microsoft's little what do they do? The new thing they have going on every month. It's so funny because it seems like it fell off for a while and now it's back on or whatever. It's where they show what's happening. They showed a new controller, they showed new titles, but they also showed a sit down with the xCloud running on a controller strapped to an Android, strapped to the controller with some little doohickey or whatever that made it
double
like
strap.
It looked like the Shield, the NVIDIA Shield. But it was pretty cool. But Broke, did you check it out? What'd you think?
Yeah, I did. And I saw what you said was going to happen. They've got the games running on there. They've got the controller. What was it? An article that I read that made me laugh was we are entering the golden age of playing video games and pooping at the same time. Like, it's here.
Wow.
And so I worry
what it went with.
But that's what made me laugh. So hopefully you guys laughed at that too, which you did still. So there's that. But the big one is going to be next week, or actually this week. We're recording here on a Sunday. Tuesday is when GDC kicks off big time. And that's actually when we're going to start getting in the information about what the plans for the infrastructure, not so much what games are coming, but the technology and the things that they're going to set up for the video games that they're going to talk about once E3 comes around. So I personally, I worry that it's not ready, and that's just because cloud gaming, it's barely getting off the ground on PC. Like it's strong. We have a lot of contenders, and I have a whole list that I'd like to bring up at some point. But specifically speaking on the xCloud right now, I mean, they're the most prepared for it. That or possibly Amazon. Amazon has stupid amounts of server space, but that's more to talk about later.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's ready because one, like I told you multiple times, they've been working on it for the longest time, man, almost damn near a decade. And they didn't have to, this is something that does not have to be, in the sense of they don't have to put it out now. They could wait until 2025 or the next Xbox 3 or whatever, iteration, to where there is no drive whatsoever, or no disk drive whatsoever, and they just go right into this thing. Well, what they want to do is they want to spread the love. They want to do a diskless system to where eventually when the 3 comes out, Xbox 3, there will not be a hard drive. It will just be this streaming box, whatever, if it goes the way they want it to go, because Sony's saying the same thing. You sent the article on Apple, doing their gaming Netflix service and all that good stuff. So I believe who is on top of this more so than Nintendo or Sony are 2 companies. I believe Apple is just because they've been buying up everything that has to do with streaming and digital streaming, digital media, all kind of small companies that you would never even think had anything to do with this stuff or whatever, with certain technologies that they have, and they've been merging them. And Microsoft was doing that back in the day. And so I believe that they wouldn't put it out if they weren't ready. 2, there is a streaming box coming out this year. And to me, that's going to replace, let me pull that up. What is that, guys? It's going to replace the
Maverick or something,
yeah,
was it?
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's going to replace the S. Well, one, they definitely need to kill the Xbox One.
Yeah, pretty sure that's going to happen.
The reason why I wanted to kill it is because it's bringing my games down, man. I mean, these game companies, when they're making games, they have to do for the lowest common denominator and the highest common denominator. And for Xbox, whatever, it's Xbox One is the lowest common denominator. So if they don't have to get down to those levels or whatever, they can do they have a lot of more headroom with the S and definitely with the X. So that's why I personally want them to kill it off. But let's see, was it Maverick?
Yeah, the Maverick.
Okay. Yeah. So, supposedly this year they will be announcing that. It'll probably be a little bit before E3. It'll probably be my thing, whatever, be launched at E3, and it will be like their Scarlet. What is it? The Scarlet is it's the Anaconda, and what's the other one?
Oh, I forgot what the other one's called. I don't remember. I think it's
the Lockhart.
Yeah, the Lockhart.
Yeah, the Lockhart. Yep. So, yeah, and it'll just be to get all those juices flowing or whatever, because they don't really need the processors and all that stuff, whatever, to make this any better than what it is. To me, whatever you get from the cloud is going to be what you get from the cloud, and whatever's added in that box to be able to utilize, whether it's different apps to run and, different sound chips that do Atmos or Dolby Digital that you're, utilizing or whatever for the box itself. Because again, your phone doesn't, it's powerful processors for sure, but they don't have what the Xbox S has in, to their graphics chip, CPU chip, all that stuff, whatever. So when you're putting it on all these small devices and all kind of, Android, iOS, PC, iMac or Apple in general, or PC in general, it's not about how that game is running on those hardwares. It's about the application and how the servers are running the game. And that's what's cool about it. So theoretically, you're going to be able to play this on your Xbox One. You're going to be able to play it on any version of your Xbox. And you're also going to be able to play it on the PC, on your iOS, on your Android, or, all those different, the Nintendo Switch is still yet remains to be seen as far as what they'll do or what's going to actually be on there. Will it just be the app to see your, your Xbox friends and communicate with them and all that stuff, whatever. So that remains to be seen. But I believe xCloud is going to be the next level of what Broke's been talking about all this time. And I'm sorry, but it's here and it's ready. And I think Microsoft is going to be able to pull it off.
Well, it's just the worry is because I just haven't seen enough of it outside of Microsoft. But, I mean, they could be the first ones to do it. And there is pressure. I did mention that there is a list, and there's a lot of people getting into it. I mean, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind just starting to talk about what these companies are that are getting into cloud streaming if they're already not in it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously we've got Microsoft, which, they have xCloud. We have Sony, which has Sony Now, so they're already in the system. Nintendo is getting into cloud-based streaming. They had an experimental thing in Japan. I forgot what it was called, but they had cloud versions of Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard running on the actual Switch itself. And the way that it would work is it would put a small download on on your actual Switch, and the rest would be ran from the cloud.
Yeah.
So, that's not a far away thing, especially because there's talks of cross-play happening with Microsoft and Switch. I mean, we did talk about that last week. EA is working on something towards that as well, too. They're calling it Project Atlas. So I'm wondering if we're going to hear about that this year.
Anything like they've been beyond under the table, about that. They haven't shown or said anything else. They released a bunch of documents on Atlas, and you haven't heard anything ever since.
Yeah, but apparently, like, they've hired a bunch of people to be working on it. They've got a full thing. One of the quotes from Ken Moss, he says that this will be a fully integrated platform capable of building the scalable, social, and large scale experiences of the future. So he's basically using a bunch of buzzwords to explain that they're setting up for the next big thing in gaming. They're trying to think outside of the box, outside of the console.
Yeah, but it's EA. It's the Dark Lord, man. I don't take anything Hitler says with a grain of salt. I mean, there is no, to me, that's like, work on Anthem. Do something. Work on things that you have actually out or whatever, and stop firing development companies and breaking them up and all that stuff, whatever. Worry about that. See a game through. If a game has issues like No Man's Sky, which broke you, sent me something about No Man's Sky.
They're trying to do more with it. They should just put it to rest. It's already going for $15 for sale at Target.
Yeah, and they're still adding to it. I think that's freaking awesome. I think that's freaking awesome, whatever, because I might just pick it up just based upon, and it's a game for the histories or whatever, as far as a game that, launched really bad and was able to, battle back or whatever. But so EA stuff or whatever, that's just talk or whatever, because they can't even keep development companies together and making games that they should make, especially supposed AAA titles. They definitely should have gave BioWare more time. I don't know whose timeline needed what, whether BioWare needed an influx of money, and that's why they put out Anthem. I'm not sure. But out of the companies that I think are doing streaming right, other than Microsoft, is Google. Google played Assassin's Creed or whatever. You can play the beta. The beta played perfectly. I watched streams on the beta. I know people who played the beta. The beta was at 1080p and it was at 60 frames per second. No glitches, no lag, no nothing. I
didn't see that.
Awesome.
Where can I see this at?
Yeah, you can watch it online. I can send you something in Messenger about it. Or just go to Polygon, polygon.com, whatever. Google game streaming services make Assassin's Creed Odyssey playable in Chrome. But beyond all
right
that,
now it's on GameSpot as well too.
Yeah, not only did they do that, what did they do? They gave you the game for free. If you were in the beta testing and you played it or whatever, they're like, okay, it was great. You played it or whatever. We love you playing it. And here's the copy for free. You can play it on whatever, pick whatever platform you want to play it on. I thought that was freaking awesome. So if they do something with their whole game, because again, they have as much money as Apple, and if they do a game company and a game console, and half of it's streaming and half of it's disc based or whatever, because with the third party companies, you still have to have a disc, and just with general public or whatever, they feel more comfortable having the media in their hands and all that. So I don't know if they can just make a streaming box right out of the gate, but if they do that and they give you a title, and you can choose what other platform you want that title on, that's a game changer. That's a game changer, because it goes beyond what Microsoft does with PC. As far as if you buy it on PC, you can play it on Xbox and vice versa. When you're able to choose whatever other platform you want that game on, and you bought it on their streaming service, that's a game changer. So watch out for them at this E3 or whatever. You're talking about, everybody's talking about.
Not even E3, man. They're going to announce this Tuesday at GDC. That's why I said that GDC officially starts on Monday, but Tuesday is going to be a big day.
Yeah, so you guys look out. Yeah. We definitely will be covering this and these this wizardry technology that Broke think is not here. Yeah. But I do think
it's not that
here.
It's not here. I just feel like that the groundwork isn't there yet. But you know what? It could just be hesitation based off the fact that I feel like stuff is just getting pushed out faster and faster and possibly not completely done. Anthem. But that's just one of those things that I worry about.
No, for sure, and you should.
Back to the list, though, just to cap it off, Verizon is getting into it. They are doing Verizon Gaming, and apparently they're going to have an app that attaches itself to the NVIDIA Shield, which is kind of like, Okay, you guys, you sure picked a winner. But
now see, Broke has to watch what he says, because Broke kills me. Broke, you were the biggest proponent about InShield, and you know, like,
no,
dude,
I wasn't. I was a
Yeah,
proponent.
you were.
Broke, you broke. We can go back to the shows, dude. I told you that wasn't
you
gonna
go back. Right, hold on. You crazy talkers. Remember, I'm not the one who had the shield. It was Baloo who had it.
No,
Don't
for
conflate
sure.
me.
No,
Yeah,
you were
but
giving
you were-
out access.
I was a proponent of the GeForce Now gaming on the PC, not
and
the
I
shield.
told you that would not take off. I said, Broke, that's been done before. It's another company that bought that company, and to play those games, whatever, that's not going to take off. It's been about a year and a half now.
It's
It
still
ain't taking
going,
off,
and
homie.
it's still full of brand new games
Yeah,
on the
but
PC.
people
Is
aren't-
just fine. I don't have the shield myself, so I can't speak on that. But it seems like that's not having great sales.
Not
you
at all.
don't have to pay for GeForce Now. You just download it and play it.
Yes, and how many people are doing that? Do you hear that about that? Anything
haven't.
being blogged out, tweeted out? Do you hear about it on any IGN, GameSpot, Polygon? Do you hear anything about it? No, it's not. It has a small little niche, the same niche that it had before. It's not going to take off. It has to be one of these major companies, because here's the caveat to all of this. It's like what we experienced with the movie, right? The movie was done in its sound or whatever in its most glorious state, right? When you play these games 1080p, not only did your connection have to be good, and what I like about Google's Chrome, it actually does not have to be great service to keep that steady 1080p with 60 frames, but you're not getting 4K. You're not getting those 4K textures. You're not
getting that, but I think most people expect that. They're not trying to play high-end games on a system like that. They just want to be able to play games.
No,
most
but
of
a
the
lot of
who are
people
going to pay for that are ones that can't afford to build a PC.
No, but a lot of people don't know, and they're not even thinking about that. They're not even thinking like, ooh, this streaming box, whatever, that sounds great. I can pay $9.99, have all these games, whatever. But then what you're not hearing is what it does not have. You don't have a little checkbox, whatever, and says you don't have Atmos sound, you don't have this sound, you don't have this visuals, you don't have this frame rate, you don't have a higher frame rate, you don't even have checkerboarding. There's a lot of things that it cannot do opposed to things that it can do. What I like about what Microsoft is doing, and I'm not sure about Google yet, is that it's on everything. So you can actually stop your game on your 4K, Anaconda, and then go play that same game in the bathroom, then go to work, then play that same game on your break. It's all attached. It's all intertwined. I think that is, to me, what that next level is, because when you do want that overall great experience, whatever, you can always go back to that Anaconda and vice versa through all the different devices. I think.
Well, if I wasn't so rudely interrupted in my explanation, I would have told you that you would download this onto your PC or wherever you have the NVIDIA system, and you'd be able to play your games on your phone with the app.
Well, okay,
So
the
you can
NVIDIA
take it
system.
with
Why?
you.
Okay, but that is what you just said. Is not what I said. As far as Microsoft, different devices, you come home to that one major
different
mega
devices.
device.
You can just use
What
it on
on
your computer,
NVIDIA
your
Shield?
TV, or you can use it on your phone.
But what on NVIDIA Shield does that?
That would be the Verizon app that I'm talking about. That you would download an app to the Shield,
Broke, what is the Anaconda Verizon 4K player?
That's the Shield.
Shield don't play, homie. Shield don't play games in 4K.
4K?
No, Shield doesn't. There's no AAA games in 4K on the Shield.
Oh yeah, like I'm not. The thing is that you put me in a position where I have to argue for a console that I don't even own. But I'm trying to tell you that they're working on something for that. That it is.
I'm not.
They have a structure.
You miss me with all those.
It's, I'm not gonna be pigeonholed into the defender of the Shield.
First of all, when you made that statement, I thought about, who was pushing that? Who was pushing that back in the day?
Nah, bro. If I was pushing it, I would have one.
No, not pushing it. Dude, I will pull that up for the next episode about what you were saying. I was like, it's not going to take off. It's not, no, dude, everybody should try. Trust me, bro. You need to go back and listen to that episode yourself.
I do. And I think you need to as well, too, because I feel like we have some misconceptions about what was said during those conversations.
No, for sure.
Pull it up for the next episode.
So what did Brooke say about,
what did I say?
The whole beta and
you were just saying it. You were talking about how like, because you even convinced me for a little bit to try it, and I downloaded it on my computer and everything. But you were saying how like revolutionary it was, and how like you don't have to have like a super good system, so on and so forth. Like you were super supportive of it.
It was the next
and
big thing.
Super supportive of it being the next. Yeah, like this is the next thing. It's the next. This is what's coming next. And then you guys actually got into the two of you got into an argument about it not being the next thing.
Yeah, because I was saying this has already been out. It's just they were bought by another company and the name was changed. And it did the same thing that it's doing now, which is doing right now, which is nothing. That's all I was saying. I believe Microsoft's is the next big thing. And I stated why. Because all of the detachable devices that go together, and because, again, it's because of Xbox Live. It has a pretty big service. And they're major players in the gaming console environment, and people like those, like what is it? Google, they're just now getting into it, and they still have to even get into it. And to me, the way you get into it is exactly how they're doing it. If you can, even if you have a streaming service, what they're saying is with their service is this: we're going to give you this game at 1080p, and we're going to give it to it on our device if you buy it. But if you own an Anaconda or you own a PlayStation 5, we'll give you that on that title. We'll give you that title on those consoles also. So you'll still be able to play this game in the best, capabilities or whatever that's out there. I think that is, to me, what the game changer is for Google, if they can actually pull that off. That's all I was saying.
Well, yeah, the thing about Google is that they are working with companies, specifically Ubisoft, to get their hands on AAA titles, to get the rights for them, so that they can actually have games to play, because that will be the downfall of any company that tries to start up a gaming division.
And the N-Shield wasn't doing that. N-Shield had they were just basically a used game library that they can choose from that developers would allow them to put on their system. But as far as looking that forward into the future and merging all these things, I mean, that didn't happen. That didn't happen with what's the one console that the Steam Machine. Steam Machine failed miserably.
Yeah, and it did, and that's because it lacked the support and it lacked the games that people needed, and it was actually not that good. It didn't do what it promised to do. But what I was excited for when the Shield came out, or not the Shield, but the GeForce Now, because I'm all confused, is that it gave people the ability to play games at a lower price point and a lower level of difficulty to get into computer gaming. Like, that's still something that I'm excited for, and that's something that's more of a believable future now that a bunch of other big giants are getting into it. It's not that I planted my flag on that specific company, but that I planted my flag on that concept, which seems to be doing just fine.
No, you planted your flag on that was going to take off, and that was going to be new. That it's the next big thing.
That
and
cloud
I was like,
gaming
not with
is going to take off. I mean,
No.
I feel like I've been right about that.
Well, to you, it's not ready, and you're scared about it.
It's not. That's the thing, is that I don't want it to tank because people got too ambitious because they got caught up in the race. But I absolutely want it to be a thing. Like, it's not like I'm over here like, oh, you can't go. No, it's my secret.
But no, for the company that you were pushing and you had access to.
They were the ones that was doing it for PC. But if they're going to do it for other consoles and other stuff as well too, I didn't know about those companies until recently when everybody started saying that they're doing it as well.
All I told you was,
did you know that Apex Legends has a new battle?
Okay, shut up. All I told you was that was not going to take off. I do believe Microsoft and Google has the potential. That's a done deal. Now, whether or not anybody utilizes it, especially if they add it with gold or whatever, and it becomes something, an extension or whatever, until they really get their foothold and then they start bumping up the price or adding a separate price. If they automatically attach that to gold to where you have the app and you can access this or whatever, or Game Pass, it's a wrap. I mean, it is what it is. And again, and the reason why it's not going to be the be all and end all, because you're not going to be able to play it in its highest fidelity. You still got to do the disc. You still got to have the powerful system. And I like that because I will, be, somewhere and hey, let me play some Anthem or whatever on my phone because I brought my controller, but I'm definitely going with Anaconda or whatever the best way to play it is. I'm not in the mobility aspect of it and let me just play on anything. I'm gonna play it on my PC. I'm gonna play it on this or whatever. And that's just not my thing, whatever. It may be the thing for a lot of people out there or some people. But all I was saying, that the argument that we were having back at that time was that program, that company wasn't going anywhere. There's no game changing technology because the same technology was there. I remember on that same technology, you can actually pull up and watch screens of people playing or whatever. It was like 20 screens at one time. And then you pick on what you wanted to watch. And then whatever you liked, you end up streaming that particular game yourself or whatever. Then that was sold or whatever and made the company that bought it, currently. And I don't think Verizon is going to take off, and I'm just saying, as far as, looking into the future, whatever, what I believe, because there are so many mini games out there in Android and iOS games that no one knows what rhyme or reason why some do better than others. And so that remains to be seen, or whatever, what Verizon is going to do. But tell the people about Apple, iOS, what's going on with them.
Well, they're also going to be doing something as well inside of the streaming world. They've already bought up a bunch of companies. They're hiring a bunch of people to work for them, and they want to create an app that is going to work kind of like Game Pass, where you basically pay, a set amount of money and you gain access to a bunch of games, but they want to transfer it into a streaming service as well. So it's Netflix game library, but you don't have to have it on your phone. You just you log into a server system and you start playing. So more of what we've been talking about. And what's interesting is that Apple has the money, they have the science and the tech to make it work as well too, but they don't have the games. And that's one of the things that we brought up a little bit earlier, is if you don't get signed up with the right people and you don't have the games, it's just going to be a flash in the pan. It's just going to be a bunch of versions of Candy Crush, basically.
Yeah, because the developers are look at the turnaround time for these games. I mean, games of any good quality or whatever takes a while. I mean, Anthem was 6 years in development. They needed probably another year. So I'm saying
they could have used another year for sure.
Yeah. So that goes a lot into how big or how small these games will be, from these places or whatever, who are not, full, companies or whatever working on titles. And it's actually going to be curious to see all the new developers that Microsoft has, to see what their turnaround time will be, for their games. So it's going to be interesting. What else do we have on tap, man? We went long with Broke's freaking craziness about streaming services. No, I'm just joking.
Don't put that on me.
But again, I do think Microsoft is on to something really big. And if they can get their stuff on the Switch, I think it's going to be a game changer for Nintendo Switch. And I think Google is going to come in that, march in sequence, whatever, in third or fourth place. And it's funny because is this why Nintendo's doing it? Because they're scared of Google taking that, that lower tier crowd that Nintendo's been swimming in for the longest time? Interesting.
I mean, it could be. It could absolutely mean that. It's a lot of fear, and getting one up is what's going to possibly drive the next generation of gaming or gaming innovations. It's just, don't let them get there before we do, because it's one of those things where it is a race. There's all of them are trying to make this work so that they can corner it and patent it and start making that money off of it as fast as possible, and they can do it the best.
No, for sure. So it's going to be interesting, but this is a long episode. It's like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's besides us only playing Anthem, we're also keeping our eyes on the future, and the future seems to be in the clouds still.
Yeah. It definitely is. And again, this goes with what Microsoft tried to do with the Xbox One, attach everything to the internet. And hopefully you guys got the bandwidth, and hope you're not in the sticks, and you got good service, because you don't need it.
Yeah, because otherwise you're on retro gaming systems. That's what it is. You're gonna play old school until you can get a good internet line at your house.
Yeah, exactly. And they're seeing how and it's funny because we love it, but we're actually hurting it. And what I mean by that is this: MMO, Destiny, The Division. These games, you don't own the game, people. You're playing games on the servers. You don't have the software on that disc or whatever. If you don't have the internet connection, you cannot play that game. So we're actually, going into this whole thing or whatever, not knowing, because you have to have an internet connection to play these titles. They are not like, God of War, single player titles. You put it in or whatever, you disconnect and do your thing and go on about your business. But no, you are locked into the net, and they're slowly bringing everybody in, and that's how they're doing it. And we're coming lock, stock, and step. And it's like, dang, that sucks, because I don't want all these games or whatever too. And there's nothing. Imagine cooking a roast and being able to open the back of the oven and always tweaking it before it's actually even done already. And then you're adding all these different spices. That's what's
cooking, man.
That's what's happening.
That's the best kind of cooking, is the one where you can adjust on the fly, so you have a chance to get it right where it needs to be without, messing it up too much. Because that's what I don't like about baking, if we're going to talk about food, is that set it and forget it sucks. Yeah. But being able to go in, taste the sauce, oh man, that needs a little more salt. put a little bit more of that in there, fix it. Now everybody loves it, and that's what we want with gaming.
But the problem is, when you add too much salt, you can't come back from it. When you
not when you're cooking, but you do have special debugging and coding that you can do, and that's where the metaphor ends. Basically, as you can reverse some of the stuff that you do, as long as you're not like building on a system that just sits on top of itself and will collapse if you remove some stuff out of it.
Well, I hope BioWare is listening.
Yeah,
because it's getting rough out there.
There's a lot of polish that game still needs. I mean, even after all the work that they've been doing, we're still waiting for it to be as smooth as they promised it would be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you've been quiet. You've been there with a lot of yes and Apex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just let you guys get your streaming stuff off. You know what I mean? For me, I'm gonna wait to see. I'm not really looking forward right now. I have so many games to play, and I mean, I'm looking forward to games, but I'm not looking forward to what the new technology will be yet. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. So.
Yeah,
that's gonna be this week for sure. I remember that I had some pretty good information last time that that GDC was around. We talked about some indie games, RTX, and then just what the new possible gaming markets were going to be. And it seems like this year it's going to mostly be about that. But the real lowdown is going to be when I go and I look at all of the events that they're going to have, because they have like a bunch of talks and a bunch of I don't know what they call them, like where the presentations basically from a bunch of different companies and people, where they talk about the industry, talk about the future of industry, and then a little bit more down to brass tacks about the culture and what it takes to be able to get your game going. So that's something that talking to somebody like a developer like Damien, like what we had on, would be important, because there's the back end of video games, and that's what a lot of this convention is going to be. Yeah, is just a lot of people making connections and learning about how to exist inside of that space.
Well, I'm just waiting for the bomb. I know Google's going to have some good news, whatever, with their console and what's going on with it and everything else. But the bomb for me is if you can play Game Pass on the Switch. To me, that's going to be a game changer.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
So
most definitely.
Not saying that. I mean, they have plenty of time to announce it even before E3. But I think GDC will be the baby steps. And if we're hearing what we think we'll be hearing, meaning more to come if they don't outright say it, or if they say, the app will be on there, and then additionally you can do this, and we're going to be talking about it, so on and so forth. Because I don't think Nintendo's ever gone to GDC personally. But or at least said anything at GDC that I can remember anyway.
No, they've been running it solo for a while. I think because that Mario Run game was one of their Nintendo Directs as well too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because that's probably one of the ones that would have been a good candidate for GDC. Is having a talk about how to move a franchise that exists basically only on console onto the phone and have it be successful.
Yeah. So like I said, it's gonna be interesting. Whatever. This is a long show, guys.
Yeah. But that's about it for me. I think I got all out that I needed to. So if you don't have anything else, I think that's it.
Nope. Yeah. The cloud is out there and it's ready and it's looming.
The cloud looms.
But hopefully they're not actually chemtrails. So
yeah, hopefully not.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are out. Peace.
Thanks for listening. For more information on the show, go to our website, ethergamerradio.com. You can always catch us on our Facebook fan page. You can hit us up on Twitter or our hosting site, Podbean. Hit us up on iTunes and drop us a review. It helps get the word out to other gamers, so spread the love. As always, we would love to hear from you. Hit us up on Ether Gamer Radio hotline, 916-877-5745. Until next time, stay gaming. Ether Gamer Radio.